Okay, so we're going to start lying on our backs today. And you're just going to try and arrive in the room, wherever you are. Just noticing, what's going on around you and trying to sort of observe and notice it without judgment. So if you've got pets or kids or anything like that, just notice, the sounds that they might make. And start to notice how your back feels lying against the earth in this way. You can have your knees bent if you like. That can make space in your lower back where you can knock your knees together. That can feel really nice to make space in the lower back. Or you can have your legs outstretched, whatever works for you. And then we're going to start to deepen the breath. So breathing in through the belly, let the belly rise. Breathing all the way into the ribs, let the ribs expand. And breathe all the way to the tops of the collarbones. So really using your full breath. So lying on the floor and noticing the whole of the back of the body being held by the earth, the stable, unmoving earth beneath you. Can you make your breath loud? Can you maybe sigh out on your exhale? So today's theme is inner child. So this is the part within us, all of us, that is childlike. And it's that part of us that's filled with awe, that's kind of alert to new experiences and kind of mesmerized by wonders of the world, sensory, any kind of sensory wonder, any kind of new, different experience is seen through eyes of curiosity and wonder. So breathing into that sense of inner child. And then when you're ready, you're going to take your arms all the way over your head. Take the ankles together, stretch the legs along the floor and stretch as long as you can be. Just notice how that feels. You probably haven't done that for the whole day. How does it feel to be long? And then on your next exhalation, you're going to take your arms over your head, take your knees to your chest, take your hands to your knees, and then just gently rock from side to side. You might want to go just side to side, but you might feel that maybe you want to turn that into a circle. Maybe you want to use the weight of your own body to kind of spread out and iron down this very vulnerable part of the back, the lower back, where most injuries are caused. If you are going in circles, change the circle in the other direction. And just notice the speed at which you're going. Can you slow it down? Can we spend the whole of the next hour not rushing, but instead breathing into the subtlety, to the slowness, and therefore letting our awareness bubble to the surface. So when you're ready, we're going to come up to a seated position. You can come anywhere you like. You might want to roll backwards and forwards. You might like to just push yourself up, whatever works for you. And we'll start with pranayama, so a breathing exercise to bring your mind and your body together. So you can take the back of your hands to your knees and then take your right hand and take the 2 index fingers down towards the palm. Then you can take your thumb to the right nostril and your 4th finger to the left nostril. If that feels funny on your hand, you can just do it with your index finger and your thumb, so it doesn't matter. We're going to do alternate nostril breathing to balance the yin and the yang side of the body. And you're going to start by closing off your right nostril and exhaling through the left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your nose, retain your breath. Exhale through your right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. Close the eyes. Exhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. Turn the gaze inwards. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. Exhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. Exhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time in your own time. When you've finished, and only when you've finished, place both hands down to your knees. Close your eyes. Turn the gaze inwards. Breathe deeply. Can we let a very simple breathing exercise clear the muddied waters of our mind? Taking the right hand down to the floor by your side, inhaling the left arm up and over. Take a side stretch. Yawning the body open. How does that feel to create space in between all of the ribs here? You probably haven't done this all day. Can you breathe loudly, slowly, deeply? And when you're ready, take that left hand up to the diagonal. Look up at the diagonal. Open the chest, look up. This expansive pose. Almost like you're holding the moon in your hand. The moon, the lunar energy, the yin energy. And then exhale that left hand down towards the floor. And when you're ready, inhaling the right arm up and over. Take a nice big side stretch. Now in yin yoga, it really doesn't matter what it looks like. We do not seek perfect alignment. But we do seek to make sure that the pose has integrity. And only your body knows that. So breathing into the side of the body, just yawning out that lovely side, the armpit, the ribs. And then when you're ready, you can take that right arm up to the diagonal, look at it. Maybe imagine yourself holding the moon, the luna, the feminine, the nurturing, the soft, yet powerful. Breathing that energy into your body. And then taking both hands down to the floor. We're coming into a box-shaped position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And then we'll kind of come into a cat-cow. So exhale to drop your head and round your back. And you're inhaling to arch the back and lift the head. So my challenge to you is to do this move in your own time, but never stop moving. Now you're moving really slowly and you're moving with your breath. So it's the inhale to arch to lift the head, and it's the exhale to round and drop the head. But you're doing it in your own rhythm, like the tide of the ocean, but your own tide. Never stop moving. Use your breath. Spread through your fingers. And now, if you'd like to, you can add in a child's pose here. So when you next exhale and round into the back, you can pull your hips back towards your heels into a child's pose, and then use your inhale to kind of ripple your body through into this lovely arch. And then exhale to round, pulling the hips back towards the heels. So if this doesn't make sense to you, do something else that does make sense. You want to turn the gaze inwards. You want to listen to the body. You want to release any sense of self-consciousness of what you might think that you should be doing. That is entirely irrelevant. Breathe. Can you make your breath louder? Can we use all of our lungs? And when you're next back in your neutral box position, you're going to inhale to lift the right arm all the way up to the sky. Now just hold here for a second. Notice how it feels to twist in the body like this. It can feel quite awkward, but if it does, just breathe into that, noticing, trying not to judge. And then when you feel ready, you're going to take your right hand and weave it underneath the left. So you're coming in to thread the needle where you drop your whole right shoulder onto the earth. And then you can take the left hand out in front of you if that feels nice. Or if you want a bigger stretch in the shoulder, you can take that left hand all the way around the body and take hold of the right thigh. So wherever you are, just try kind of micro movements like wriggling around a bit with your weight on your shoulder. And then breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Notice how that feels on the shoulder. It's like a massage. So I'll read you a quote by Eric Pevenaggi. He says, "Let us listen to the needs of our inner child that is being tamed and imprisoned by the rules of the grown-up world." So what is there, do you think, maybe inside of you where your inner child lives that has been tamed and that has been imprisoned by this adult world? You know, we're not meant to just, go to work, pay some bills and then die. We're meant to experience the fullness of living. And that gorgeous curiosity and that sense of wonder that you see in children, can you bring that into your
yoga practice tonight. And my challenge to you is, can you bring that into your activities this whole week? So when you're ready, you're going to replace the left hand flat on the earth, and then inhale, lift that right arm all the way up, taking a big twist here again, and then lowering the right hand down to the floor. So from here, let's take the right leg out behind you, just so that it's flat. So it's sort of like a long line. Your back and your leg are in line with one another. You can maybe turn through the ankle of your back leg. Sorry, my ankle's clicking. And if you want, you can even take the left hand out in front of you. But just notice whether you instinctively did that without listening to your body. Maybe your body actually didn't fancy it. Do you need to push yourself to do everything in life? Or can you take the slow lane? Can you choose to take the slow lane with joy, with dignity? Good, so you're going to drop that knee back down to the floor. And this time you're going to lift that left arm up to the ceiling and lift it up nice and high. We'll stay here for a good few moments. So again, just noticing how that feels. Trying not to judge the feeling. Just breathing into it and just noticing, observing. And then only when your body feels ready, you can start to slowly weave that left hand under and through, so that your shoulder goes down towards the floor and your head, side of the head touches the floor somewhere. So as before, you can either take the right hand out in front of you, or if you want more of a shoulder opening, you can wrap that right arm all the way around the body. Breathe. Can you breathe louder? Can you breathe deeper? Just noticing how this feels. I'll read you a quote by Hugh MacLeod. Everyone is born creative. Everyone is given a box of crayons in kindergarten. Then when you hit puberty, they take the crayons away and replace them with dry, uninspiring books on algebra and history, etc. Being suddenly hit years later with the creative bug is just a wee voice telling you, I'd like my crayons back, please. So what can you do this week that's your little voice from when you were a child saying, can I have my crayons back, please? When you're ready, you're going to unwrap yourself if you are wrapped, and then placing the right hand flat on the floor, lifting that left arm nice and slowly up towards the ceiling, taking a nice big twist. And then exhale that left hand down to the floor. So from here, you'll take your left leg out behind you, straight through that leg. And then if you want, you can turn through your ankle. Notice which way your ankle went. Usually you have a preference. Could you change the direction? Can you slow down your ankle turning? If you want, you can take the right hand out in front of you, but do remember that you don't need to always do the deeper option, the stronger option. You don't need to. As you wish, as your body wishes, as your intuition dictates. Good, dropping your hand down to the floor, drop your knee down to the floor. We're going to come down into a Sphinx pose. So you're going to need your pillows now. And if they're bed pillows, I recommend that you double them over. And you're going to drop your body down towards the floor so that you're in a gentle back bend, but make it gentle, and take the forearms out in front of you. So you can do whatever you like with your legs. I quite like to have my toes touching and my ankles rolling out. And then I sort of like to have my elbows kind of under my shoulders, if you like. So it's a gentle back bend. Really gentle, supported back bend. Now, when you're here, you're going to slowly turn your head towards the right. But notice if you rush, and if you did, maybe do it again, but slower. Breathe. And as your head is fully turned to the right, if it feels okay on your neck, you're going to lower the chin down towards your chest. And then take a really nice, slow roll. So the chin is almost painting a semicircle on your chest. You can let the head be heavy and notice how it feels to look over to the left. Just in your own time. We'll be here for a minute or two. You're going to slowly roll your head and start to notice the weight of the head. Can you feel the weight, the heaviness of the head? Can you feel all of the muscles gently moving as you turn? Almost like you're a grandfather clock and your head is kind of ticking from one side to the other. But you're in a world where time is really, really slow. So the thing about children, I find, is that they kind of discover one thing at a time. So the tiniest detail will spark wonder. And because a young child doesn't have some of the awareness of time and the sort of disease of busyness that the adults have, they don't have a sense of hurrying to learn something. So I think that we as adults often, we put pressure on ourselves to learn quickly or to come to a solution like immediately. But can we take the hurry? Can we take the busyness like a child out of the activities that you might do this week? Can you notice how it feels to do the same thing but without the sense of hurry? Like a child, like your inner child. So when you're ready and you've had enough of that, you're going to slowly make your way into a wide-legged child pose. So push the body back, but make the whole transition of getting there like a really unhurried, gentle experience. So child's pose is basically the opposite of what you've just done. I'd recommend taking the knees the width of your mat. Now your pillows are gorgeous here. You can do whatever you like with them. My recommendation is to put one underneath your bottom and on top of your ankles. So you kind of sit down into the pillow. That can feel really nice and supportive. Then you take the other pillow and take it lengthways and kind of like stuff it in between your legs a bit. So you get a nice kind of comfy support. And then just be conscious of the transition as you come to lie down and make it slow, make it mindful. And then go through the stages of your pose. So you can do whatever you like with your hands. You can make a pillow for your head. You can have them outstretched. You can have them alongside the body. Just test a few things. Fidget around, test it. What does your body fancy doing? And then once you've tested and you've fidgeted, you're going to start to settle, to find that pose and invite stillness into the body. I read you a quote about inner childs, and this one's by Nikki Rowe. Everything seemed possible when I looked through the eyes of a child. And every once in a while, I remember I still have the chance to be that wild. So inhale a nice loud deep breath and feel your whole back expand as you inhale. How amazing is it that your lungs can do that? That your lungs are healthy, are functioning, and that can actually grow your back as you breathe. Can you approach your breath with a sense of curiosity, with a sense of wonder, with a sense of wildness like a child? So I invite you this week to just have a think about, childhood things that you used to do that brought you happiness and that maybe you could still do to bring that kind of inner child closer to your heart. So it could be, playing on swings or bursting bubble wrap or jumping on your bed or a trampoline. It could be a board game, it could be Lego. It could be, running down a hill instead of walking or skipping. Anything that reminds you of what it feels like to be a child. Can you bring that into your everyday activities this week? How can you unleash your inner child? And now scanning your whole body. Are you holding tension anywhere? What about in your legs? Can you relax every cell in your legs? What about your arms? Can you relax every cell in your arms? Noticing how it feels to have your head so close to the earth. Can you imagine the earth, the soil, the kind of hard, frosty soil? Can you draw in the abundance, the strength, the stability from the earth beneath you so that you no longer feel separate from the earth, but you feel connected? Can you imagine all the little rocks and pebbles and maybe worms and sediment and mud? And when you're ready, you're going to slowly start to come out of this wide-legged child pose. So you're going to roll up nice and slowly. There's no rush. Make sure as you come up, your back is really rounded like a hedgehog. And make sure that the neck and the head come last as you start to straighten through the body. And notice how that feels. So from here, we're coming into Baddha Konasana, lying down. So I'd recommend taking both of your pillows behind you so that they will be under your shoulders. Now, if you have any more pillows or blocks or something like that, you might want to put one on either side of your knees. But you don't need props here. So you're taking the soles of your feet together. You want your pillows, so you can have them lengthways so that when you lie down, your chest puffs out. You can also turn them long. So, you can fiddle around with this pose, see what works for you. But you want your feet together and kind of open like a book, and the knees kind of resting out to the side. And then you're just going to make your way down towards the earth. So fidget around in the pose. Make it like gorgeously snug and comfy. Like, don't make it kind of stressful on the body. Make it kind of delicious and luxurious. So you might need to fidget around until you've got that. And there's no rush. We'll be here for a good few minutes. So finding something that works for you, and then scan your whole body. Scan your body for where you're holding tension. Are you clenching your toes? What about your jaw? A very common area to hold tension. Can you relax your whole face? Can you feel the breath? Just around the sides of the nose and underneath the nose. Can you actually feel it, the warm air as you exhale? Serena Hartwell says, "We nurture our creativity when we release our inner child. Let it run and roam free. It will take you on a brighter journey." So Julia Cameron in The Artist's Way, which is one of my favourite books of all time, she talks a lot about the inner child, and she asks a bunch of questions to try and get you to, connect to your inner child. So some of these questions are inspired by her. I'll say something with a kind of blank at the end and just invite you to fill in the blank. But don't think too much about it. Just be kind of intuitive and kind of the first thing that comes to mind, just take that. My favorite childhood toy was... So you fill in the blank. What was your favorite childhood toy? Breathing nice and deeply, closing the eyes. Just softening the space in between the eyebrows where your intuition lives. My favorite childhood game was... the best movie I ever saw as a kid was? I don't do it as much anymore, but I really used to enjoy. If I could lighten up a little bit, I'd let myself What would you let yourself do if you could just lighten up a little bit? My favorite musical instrument when I was younger was my favorite way to dress when I was a child was if I weren't so stingy with my inner child and inner artist, I'd buy myself when I was younger, I enjoyed reading. What did you enjoy reading? So just breathing into that. Just noticing what came up for you there, if anything. And trying to observe without judgment, without criticism. And then you're going to start to bring the knees together nice and slowly. No need to rush. No need to do it as if you're in a hurry. You are not in a hurry. And then when your knees are up, you might like to take your knees from one side to the other just a couple of times, kind of window wiping the knees, the lower back. And then you're going to take your props out from underneath your back. So you're going to lie back down, but this time you'll need your scarf or your belt. So push the pillows out to one side and lying back down. You'll take your left foot flat on the floor, so your left knee is bent, and then take your right foot and place it in your belt or your sheet or your scarf, whatever it is, and lift it up to the ceiling. So what you want here is for your shoulders to really drop into the earth. So you can have your shoulders quite lifted, but it's actually much comfier to drop them, kind of root the shoulders down into the ground. So your arms should be straight because otherwise you hold tension in different muscles in the arms. So the only thing here that is holding tension really is your hands. Now you want to get a gorgeous kind of lengthening in the right back of the right leg. Just notice how this feels. If you want a deeper stretch, you can actually lengthen the left leg out in front of you. But notice how that feels. Maybe that's too much. Maybe you need to bring it back in. So fidgeting around, finding your edge. And then close your eyes, taking your gaze inwards. So Anna Lamotte, she says, after a while, the middle-aged person who lives in her head begins to talk to her soul, the kid. So this is the sense of actually the inner child in you the one full of curiosity and wonder, is actually your soul. Can you spend your week noticing what lights you up? Do you particularly like leaves or grass or grapes? What is it that lights you up and makes you feel kind of that joyful curiosity, that wonder of a child? And then treat yourself to that. You deserve it. So breathing nice and loudly here. Feel the back of the leg lengthening through the journey of this pose. So you don't stop having fun when you get old. You get old when you stop having fun. And as Walt Disney said, he said, adults are only kids, grown up anyway. How can you unleash your inner child this week? Deepening the breath. Making it louder so you can hold yourself accountable. Slowing it down. Feeling the subtlety of the whole breath in the torso. When you're ready, you're going to slowly start to bend that right leg. You're going to take the foot out of your scarf or belt or whatever. And then you're going to cross your right leg over your left. Take the arms out. If you can, straighten them out. Or if you don't have enough space, kind of cactus shape your arms. And then you're going to drop your lower body, your legs over to the left. So looking over to the right. Now, if this twist is too intense for you, change it. Listen to the body. We don't want to do something that's uncomfortable or painful. So what we're doing is a simple twist. So you can make your twist different until it feels right for you. And then breathe into your twist. Make sure your head is facing the opposite direction to your knees. Twists, in my view, are the most healing of all postures. Just wringing out the toxins in the body here. So Einstein said that having fun is the very best way to learn. So bringing the legs back up to center now, nice and slowly, nice and slowly. You're going to take hold of your scarf again, and this time take your left foot and place it in your scarf or your belt. And then slowly start to straighten through the leg. Doing the same kind of journey. You're kind of fidgeting around, you're testing the pose. Move your hands maybe a little bit on your belt until you find this kind of right, like the right place for your hands so that your shoulders can really root down into the earth. Like you've got a seed in each shoulder and you're kind of seeding them in the soil. So really rooting, grounding down. And then taking all of the tension out of the arms so that it's only your hands that are holding tension. And then take your mind to the back of the leg. Breathe into the back of the left leg. Just imagining your connective tissue, the fascia, that's kind of wrapped around all of your muscles and ligaments. And we need to hold poses for a long time like this in order to connect to that fascia, to keep it elastic, to keep it healthy, to make sure that it can protect the rest of the body. Deepening the breath. Let the breath be the bridge between the mind and the body. Can you feel your back actually press down into the earth as you inhale? Can you actually feel your belly sink downwards as you exhale? Just noticing how this feels. And then notice again, but without judgment, without criticism. And when you're ready, you can slowly take the scarf away. You're going to cross that left leg over the right. Take the arms out to the side, however is most comfortable for you. And then drop the whole of the lower body over to the right side and turn your head to the left. Breathing here. Take your breath to the tops of the ribs as your belly is constricted. So Shatriyat said, "There is a child in all of us that refuses to grow up, a child that is in awe of what can be, the polar opposite of the cynic in all of us who despairs over what is. Stories of magic, fantastic monsters, impossible courage, and spectacular heroism appeal to this child, instilling it with hope and with faith in humanity and in the cosmic order." So can you breathe in that awe of a child, the wonder? Can you bring stories of magic somehow into your life? Or into your dreams? Breathing nice and deeply. Finding that stillness. And noticing if any insights come up for you. When you're deeply relaxed like this, they can be very insightful, your thoughts, either during your practice or afterwards, or I often find upon waking the next morning, my intuition will speak. Bringing the legs back to center, nice and slowly, nice and slowly. Now you're going to journey into your Shavasana, your resting pose, your corpse pose. You might need to wriggle around and do some last movements to Make yourself feel comfortable. You might want some socks or a blanket. You might like to just go straight into your Shavasana. Now, if you do have pillows, I suggest that you put them under your knees when you come down into Shavasana. That can be really a nice, comforting position. Or you might like to have your body flat on the floor, as you wish. As you wish. But make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure you're using the props, the blankets, the comfort of your own home. So get nice and comfortable wherever you are, wriggling around until you feel settled. And then breathe. Just burning some sacred sage and moving it around the space with some beautiful sacred eagle feathers, just to cleanse. And I'm sending this to you through the ether, cleansing your aura, your home, of anything that no longer serves you. To finish, I will read you the guidance from an oracle card that I picked from the Work Your Light Rebecca Campbell deck. And this card is play. So it's called Play. Stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You are being called to rest and to play and to learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh, the best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room your spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other. Make play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it. Spend more time doing things just because you love them, just because they bring you joy and they light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in your spirit. And when you are in your spirit, you fall into the flow with life. How do you play? How do you have fun? What lights you up? If you have been working hard lately, it's time to celebrate how far you've come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to have some fun.
Deepening the breath now. Just listening to the sound of your own breath. When you're ready, you're going to start very slowly coming up to a seated position, but come up slowly. You might want to take your knees to your chest and rock first of all. You might like to come onto your side. When you get up to a seated position, can you sit in a way that you feel grounded, where you can feel connected to the earth beneath you? For you are not separate. You are part of this earth. Taking the hands to prayer at the heart. Let's inhale one last time together. Take the arms out to the side and lift them all the way up on your inhale, filling up your lungs until the palms touch, and then bringing them down through center line, stopping at Ajna chakra, the point in between your eyebrows. For your intuition knows your inner child. Taking the hands down to your throat, Vishuddhi chakra. Can you speak the truth of your inner child this week? And taking the hands down to your heart center, Anahata chakra. For your heart knows your inner child like no other. Bowing your head to your hands. Think of one thing that you're grateful for today. And then lifting the head up, fluttering the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you.